I found my brother digging a grave in our backyard. When I confronted him, he smiled and said, "This one's for you." I stood there frozen, phone, flashlight shaking in my hand. It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. My little brother Marcus, 23 years old, covered head to toe in dirt, holding our dad's old shovel. The hole was already waist deep, maybe more. "Marcus, what the actual hell are you doing?" He looked up at me, and I swear to God, he smiled. Not a nervous laugh or an embarrassed grin. A genuine, calm smile that made my blood run cold. "Digging?" he said simply, wiping sweat from his forehead. "This one's for you." My heart was hammering. What does that mean? For me? He just went back to digging. The sound of the shovel hitting dirt echoed through our quiet suburban neighborhood. I should have called the police right then. Should have woken up our parents. Should have done literally anything except what I did. I went inside, locked my bedroom door, grabbed a chair and wedged it under the handle, and I didn't sleep a single second that entire night. Every creak in the house made me jump. Every shadow looked like Marcus standing in my doorway. I kept thinking about that smile, that calm, terrifying smile. When the sun finally came up, I practically ran outside. The hole was gone, completely filled in. Fresh dirt, slightly raised, like a grave would be. My brother's shovel leaning against the shed like nothing had happened. I confronted him at breakfast. Mom was making pancakes, completely oblivious. "Marcus, we need to talk." He looked at me over his coffee, totally normal. "About what?" "About last night, about the hole." Mom turned around. "What hole?" Marcus shrugged. "I have no idea what she's talking about. Maybe you had a nightmare?" I felt insane, completely insane, but I knew what I saw. 3 days later, everything made sense. Mom called me at work, voice shaking with excitement. "Honey, your brother's inheritance check just cleared. $50,000 from Grandpa's will. It came through yesterday. Did yours arrive yet?" The floor dropped out from under me. What inheritance? Long, terrible silence on the other end. "Sweetie, Grandpa left you both $50,000. It was in the will. You should have gotten your notification months ago." I hung up and immediately called the estate lawyer. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely dial. "Yes, we sent notification to both siblings," the lawyer confirmed. "March 15th, certified mail to both addresses. I never got anything." "That's strange. Let me check our records." I heard typing. "Oh, I see. Your brother came in personally and updated your mailing address. Said you'd moved overseas for work. Provided documentation." My vision went white with rage. "I never moved. I live at the same address. Always have." More typing. Then a very long, very heavy pause. "Miss Peterson, I think you need to come to our office immediately." I was there in 20 minutes. The lawyer spread everything out on the conference table. Marcus had intercepted my mail for months, forged my signature on an address change form, created fake documents saying I was living in Portugal, even provided a forwarding address some random mail center he'd rented under a fake name. He'd collected my $50,000, deposited it straight into his personal account, then called the estate lawyer pretending to be me, thanking them for the smooth process. It was fraud. Straight up, federal offense level fraud. "There's more," the lawyer said quietly, sliding over another document. "He tried to claim your portion of Grandpa's property too, the cabin in Vermont, but that required an in-person signature, so it didn't go through." I drove straight home, documents in hand. Marcus was in the garage, working on his car, the same car he'd just bought, with my money. "We need to talk, now." He didn't even look surprised, just wiped his hands on a rag and leaned against the workbench. "Figured you'd find out eventually." "Why?" He shrugged, like he'd stolen a cookie, not $50,000. "You were always Mom's favorite anyway. The perfect daughter, the one who never screwed up. I figured you didn't need it as much. That's not how inheritance works." "Yeah, well," he tossed the rag aside. "What are you gonna do about it? Tell Mom? Ruin the family?" I pulled out my phone. "Already called the police. They'll be here in 10 minutes. His face changed, really changed. The confidence drained away. "You wouldn't." "Watch me." They arrested him that night. Fraud, forgery, mail tampering. The detective said he could face 5 years, maybe more. As they walked him to the squad car in handcuffs, I stood on our front porch. He looked at me through the window, and for the first time, he looked scared. I walked down the driveway, leaned close to the glass, and whispered, "That grave you dug? It was for your future. You just didn't know it yet." His face went completely white. The inheritance money was returned to me in full. I used it to hire Marcus, the cheapest lawyer I could find. He got 3 years. Mom still asks me to forgive him.